obviously it's my first time in the kind of coaching side of things as well, and it's actually quite unbelievable how hard selection is in terms of, you know, the quality that's actually not in the squad, you know, so that's credit to the boys that's made it, sort of thing. So yeah, I think, you know, from last year, I think there's a bit more of an edge. You know, there's certainly more competition in every position throughout the team, so that's certainly transitioning onto the field in terms of the intensity, the quality, and yeah, it's just everyone's pointing in the right direction at the moment.
Big question, are you going to be available as a player this year as well? You're down as player coach. I didn't see you training out there tonight. I'm just wondering, are you actually putting yourself in the frame?
Well, you couldn't have been watching very hard because I was running about there and I got dirty.
I saw you running, but you also had a whistle round your
neck.
Yeah,
no, it's just try to do a bit of both. You know, we've got plenty of experienced coaches here, and you know, I've not got any injuries and whatnot. So,
but your ambition must be to take the field.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's my first and foremost. You know, at this level, is I want to play in. If I don't get involved, if there's other players out there better than me, I will absolutely pick them, you know, and it's just how we see the squad shaping up. Listen, if I can help the team win by carrying the water on or washing the balls or anything like that, I will. You know, ultimately I want to help the team as best as I can and just make sure we get the 3 wins, which is ultimately our goal.
We've been talking all season about how fit you look and how well you are on the park, enjoying your rugby as much as ever at the age of 41, which you'll deny.
I'm not
but
41.
Of course you're not, but we know differently. But you are playing terrific. You've had a fantastic season with Kelso, of course, and I mean, and you know, what a great start to your coaching career as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, if I'm being honest, you know, my last couple of years in Hawick, I plateaued a bit and a kind of stale point in my playing career, and the opportunity came to come here with Neil Hennigan and Kev Utt and stuff, and the club's been phenomenal and everything that we've asked of them, and they've been obliging, and everybody here, you know, ultimately wants the same thing, sort of thing. So you know, it's credit to the players and how I play, and they push me on, you know, as a person, but ultimately, you know, as a club, everybody wants the same thing, and everybody wants to play for a club that's doing well, sort of thing. And yeah, it's just a breath of fresh air, this club, and just long may it continue.
Because it's been literally 2 decades since Kelso were up at this level.
It's a weird one actually, because like I was saying to Kev the last day, we've not really took it on board yet. You know, we literally just got beat in the semi-final the last week there at Hawick, and even saying that's a crazy thing to be saying, but I think, you know, once our time's done here, whenever that may be, you can look back and think what we've maybe achieved. But at the moment, you know, when you're in the middle of it and you still got things to play for, Kings of the Sevens and our seconds have got a chance of getting to a final and a couple of border league games, you know, it's difficult. You know, I think it's just natural as a player coach, it's difficult to reflect, and if I'm being honest, you try and blank it out, you know, because you don't want to get too carried away. You want to make sure that, you know, you don't get ahead of yourself, and always be ambitious and make sure that you try and filter that throughout the club, throughout the players, you know, and never really settle for what we have achieved, and always strive to be better. We get spectators through the gates to watch local lads. This club controls the controllables in terms of, you know, who we play, when we play them, sort of thing, and it's working well for us. The commitment we get from the players is outstanding. You know, I don't want that to change. So ultimately, you know, we are looking to stay in-house and just, you know, we'll find our level, because ultimately if you go and, you know, potentially, listen, we've got money, we can go and buy a couple of players, short-term fix, you know, where does that really, you know, it's a false dawn sort of thing in terms of where you actually really are. But we need to be sustainable, and we know that money comes into it. We've got a very good youth set up, and we just need to invest into that and make sure that, you know, wherever our level is, we ultimately have to enjoy it. We have to make sure that the spectators enjoy coming watching local guys play. Yes, don't get me wrong, you have to bring in a couple, you know, to bring on the young lads and whatnot, but ultimately we're looking to stay in-house and produce our own talent, and, you know, it's slowly but surely coming into the fore, and we've got 3 boys playing under 20s and under 19s on Sunday, a couple under 16 and a few in the 20s, so, you know, that's nice to see, you know, that we've got that coming through, and it's just making sure that this club is the best place for them to progress, and when it's time for them to move on, we can let them go and hopefully, you know, they'll always come back to Kelso sort of thing, knowing that this is where they learnt the fundamentals of playing for a club, playing for your town and playing for your mates, which is ultimately, you know, what I think young lads need to understand, you know, where the grassroots come from. You know, they come through the system and they can come back for years to come and think this was my club for so many years, and they gave me the, you know, the basics of playing for a jersey and your teammates, which, you know, if I'm being honest, it's got us a long way in the past 3 or 4 years, is playing for the town and the jersey, and I think that's first and foremost. Everyone else can be built on that, you know.
The south of Scotland, you're the only player who has played in every single match since the 2000s. The first one at the Barbarians, you captained the side, you led them out, but you've played in every match since then. What would that mean to you to turn out for the 3 games and keep that record going to the end of the season?
You know, you've got to be in a position to be able to achieve these things, and I need to make sure that, you know, I put my hand up in training and that I can help the team out the best I possibly can, because believe us, there's a serious quality in this back row, back 5 players, as is throughout the squad sort of thing. So it's no given that I'm getting in the team by any means, and we'll look closely on how we pick it. And listen, if I get in it for the next 3, outstanding, but it's not about me, it's about, you know, the south and making sure that we achieve what we're looking out to achieve.
Well, of course, you're in the final of the playoffs. We think it's May the 4th, but it still could be even later than that. How has the club sort of been able to come off the high of the semi-final and then know that you've got like 8 weeks or more to prepare for something which would define the whole season?
It's obviously hard because, like, obviously last year I went semi-final into final, so the buzz was there. But now, like, you're coming to training each week, you didn't ken really what's going on, obviously with the SUF stuff now, so boys that aren't selected, they have to try and keep themselves interested and taking over in case, because they could end up coming back and saying, well, actually we can play in this date, so it could be earlier, it could be later, as you say, so who knows.
And that's really difficult, isn't it?
Aye, it's tough, to be honest, it is, because you just want it over and done with. The season's dragging, like, kind of getting longer and longer each year, so you kind of just want it done and see if you're going to be champions or not. And
between now and then, of course, there's sevens as well. I know it's never been a big priority for Hawick in terms of the sevens, apart from your own tournament, but at least it will keep the backs a little bit sharper, no doubt.
Aye, obviously the sevens, I feel the sevens, obviously it's kind of getting chucked to the side, you know, with what's happening with the league campaigns and that. Teams that are still in it obviously aren't got to field as strong a teams as they'd like to, so I feel aside it's shame on the seven side.
We're going back to the 15s, and you've had a hell of a season, haven't you? 20 tries, which is phenomenal, isn't it, really, in the Premiership?
Aye, obviously it's a bit better as last season, but it's easy when I've got the team that I have around us. Really just have to pick my holes, and boys like Lee Armstrong and Kyle will just put us through them.
Yeah, but you've been picking a few holes as well, creating some yourself, haven't you?
Aye.
We have evidence.
Aye. It's obviously a good personal thing, but over there to do the job as a team. To score 20 tries is nice.
But you're obviously enjoying your rugby. As it compared with other recent seasons, you seem to be really at the top of your game now.
I am enjoying it this season. I think it's obviously coming back through the nights and stuff. I wasn't really enjoying my rugby as much, but this season I got a good pre-season in, and obviously it tells on the pitch that I'm clearly enjoying my rugby.
Yeah, and you've kept reasonably clear of injury as well, which is a good thing.
Aye, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll be picking up at this stage of the season either.
Absolutely not. So we've obviously got the South campaign, which you'll personally be focusing on, and this is the second session tonight, and it's going well. There's a buzz about the place, isn't there? And the fact that you're playing everybody this year makes a big difference.
Aye, obviously last year we only got to play one game and then in the final, so you're getting a taste of all 3 teams. So aye, it'll be good to get stuck in next week against Edinburgh.
Rest of the season then, there's still a lot of rugby left for you. Some clubs obviously that's it, they're finished, but you've got the South, you've got obviously a Hawick in the Cup and in the playoff final whenever that is, so plenty to focus on still. How do you keep yourself sort of going, knowing that there's going to be quite a lot of gaps between them?
Well, obviously, like, this is a stage you want to be at, like, at the end of the season, so this is what you work for, this is why you go on training every Tuesday, Thursday in the wet nights in December, so now you're there, you just have to keep focused and hopefully over the line.
I played a wee bit with the Knights last year and I really enjoyed that, but I think the ambition was always to come back and have a good season at Jed and try and get involved with the South, but obviously it's no went as a team our way at Jed this year, but I've obviously been trying my best to kind of to do my bit, and obviously Matty's seen something and gotten selected. So.
Well, there's no doubt about it that yourself and a few other of the players have put everything into the season. It's been very difficult. A lot of injuries, a lot of players. In fact, you'd almost put a Jed team out in Australia, I think, from the rumours. There's a lot of players out there. So it has been difficult, but as a leader of the club, you've done incredibly well to keep the morale going and get through the season.
It's been difficult, so a lot of stuff behind the scenes and all, just try to get a team out. It's been a big thing, but we've gotten there, and there's been times in the season where we've really been struggling, and it's just been about getting a team out on a Saturday, and there's a lot of young boys stepped up and all, and they've been thrown in at the deep end, and hopefully moving into next year, that'll kind of come to fruition a wee bit more. But the aim at the start of the season was always try and get through the season, play all your fixtures. You didn't want to be getting any penalties or any deductions. It was got to be hard enough as it was. But we've came through it, and the relegation is what it is, but at the end the club's still there now. So
it's hard from the outside in, I suppose, to look at it and think, well, where are the positives for a season like that? But there have been positives, haven't there? There's been, as you said, a lot of youngsters coming through, and they're the future, and to give them Premiership experience, it is tremendous. And now it's a case of, I suppose, regroup and start again.
Well, that's it, and we're under no illusions. That one's got to be tricky next year. A lot of tough away fixtures, Highland to go to places like that, a lot of tough games in that league. But there's hopefully going into next year we can keep some of the young boys. There's some good boys coming down to Riverside for the Thistle. They're actually having a meeting tonight. I'm missing it, but it's all about just trying to get the start again. There's a lot of clubs been through it, and we're just going through our transition now, and hopefully in years to come it will set us in good stead. And
of course the Sevens is going to be coming up shortly. Will you be involved with that at all? Or
I hope no, but I'll never see them stuck but that's not really my thing, but Ali was happy to help out. I think I played at the start of the season at Peeble, so there's started training for that as well. Again, a lot of young boys involved, a few older heads. Shearer Gibbs got to pull the boots on again and try and look after some of the younger boys, so hopefully there'll be some of them will get a chance to show what they can do at the Sevens, and hopefully that'll give them the confidence going into next season.
Yeah. So what is the situation at the moment? Because you're looking for a new head coach and a director of rugby as well. Yep. Is that going to be sorted pretty soon?
I hope so. I mean, we've been without a coach now, a head coach now for the start of the season. So and that's all behind the scenes. I don't really have too much to do with that, but. It would be nice to get a fresh ideas, and I think a freshen up about the place. Maybe somebody that knows a few of the players and can help bring his own ideas and help these young boys develop. And I hopefully get that sorted out over the summer, ready to go for the start of next season.
Is this a challenge that you're personally looking forward to in National 1, or are you actually going to be looking to move back to the Premiership? Or
I'm not looking to move anywhere.
Well, that's good news for the Jed fans.
I'm a Jed man, but I think part is all the older boys have spoken, who take a bit of responsibility, who've taken them down, so we want to try and at least steady the ship. We're no aiming too high, we're not going to get carried away. It is a tough league, like I said, but steady the ship, breed some of these young boys in, and I think Kelso's quite a good example actually. Look at their young boys now, they're flying. They've got Bruce and that steering the ship, the older boys, and the young boys have really taken them on a wee bit, so that's kind of what we're going to look to do over the next few years.
You do realise, of course, that your phone's going to be red hot, people wanting you. But it's great to know that you're such a Jed man at heart and you want to bring on the youngsters, and that sends a great message, doesn't it?
I think that's what it's about, and I enjoy playing with my pals as well. There's a lot of boys, obviously Gregor Law's injured now, but who grew up together, playing together, and who always challenged each other, so hopefully you can get back, and a few other boys that have been missing, and who can get that kind of togetherness off the field and bring it onto the pitch, and these young boys can have something to buy into, along with a new coach obviously, and start to build for the future, whether that's not one or God forbid it's no any lower, but for the next couple of years it's really about building.
But obviously right now you're focusing on the south, which is fantastic, and certainly surrounding yourself with some guys that can really do some damage on Glasgow and Caledonia and Edinburgh as well, and something that you're personally going to be wanting to get stuck in at.
I watched it last year, obviously I couldn't be involved, but I'm really excited to get going, and it's been tough playing against some of the top teams, some of the better players, so I'm looking forward to getting stuck in aside maybe some better players and try to fit in amongst all that, and especially some of the Hawick boys they've been doing well this season, so hopefully try and get a win under my belt. No won a game of rugby for a long time, so it'd be nice to try and cap a win, especially starting away against Edinburgh the first game.
And it's nice, as you say, you know, to be involved with the South and representing Jedforest, of course.
Well, that's it. Again, obviously, I'm just myself now. There's maybe a couple of boys, maybe a wee bit of grieved that could have been in the conversation, maybe.
Sure.
But I'm here and I'll do my best for the South, and it's obviously a privilege to be representing Jed at the minute.
Well, you're a shining example for club rugby and for Jedforest, and we
Cheers,
wish you all the best in the South.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Stuart.